Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Inside Artesian Basketball here on WREP 15 Sports. I'm your host, Eric Meyer, joined as always by Artesian head coach Kip Staggs. A lot to talk about here on this show. We're actually taping it on a Friday afternoon, a little day later than normal. We've got to go back to the John Wooden Classic that the Artesians competed in a few weeks ago, right around the Christmas break. Also talk about the contest at Decatur Central. And then look ahead to Martinsville's two games coming up this weekend, both non-conference contests, but should be two tough contests for the Artesians, weather permitting. Coach, let's go back to the Wooden Classic. This is the third year for it. You guys put together a great field. Every year is a good field again this year.
Well, you know, Castle's in the top 20. They have an all-state, all-star candidate in Alex Hemingway, and he was definitely more than just an all-state candidate. He was really, really good on that Saturday. And then, you know, Mount Vernon's had a really good run here, and so they're in the field, and then sectional opponent Franklin Central. So we felt pretty good about the field itself. We knew we had some tough competition in there, and it proved out to be the same.
Franklin Central, the opponent in game number one for the Artesians, and this was kind of a strange start to it. They get out to a 10-point lead, and then all of a sudden, the next time you look up, I think it was a 30-2 run that you guys went on and kind of pulled away from the Flashes. They made a late run at you guys as well, but you're able to get the victory.
Well, it was a really good win for our guys. We really did some good things in that contest and hit some shots. Noah Stout hit a couple threes. Elijah Hoskins hit a couple threes. That really helped spark the momentum for us. And as you mentioned, we held on. You know, we were up 18 points there in the third quarter, and they called a timeout, and then they got it down to 12 and 14. It kind of hung around that area for a while, and then fortunately we made a few free throws down the stretch. But a real nice win for our guys coming out of the Christmas holidays.
Coming out of the Christmas break with the win over Franklin Central. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights of the victory over the Flashes.
Well, here you see Reed coming off a little screen, making that little short pull-up jump shot. We get into our 2-2-1, and we settle in there to play a little defense. Here's a little play that we just put in, and Tyler makes a nice fake handoff and turns the corner and hits a little floater on the baseline. As you see here, we're down by 8, and you know, Tyler gets it, kicks it back out to Elijah for a 3. And you know, we just kind of hang in here a little bit, run into a little bit of a scoring drought. Franklin Central able to knock some shots down during that time. There's Noah on a nice little 3-point shot at the top of the key. Here we close it to 2 on a kick out to Elijah. And probably one of his best games of the season in a lot of different ways. Here's Reed driving in, a nice backdoor cut by Elijah, and Reed's able to find him there on the baseline. And so, you know, it's 26 all there in the second quarter, and Andy with a nice drive and slice into the basket. And this is kind of where the point where we start rolling a little bit and really get some good momentum headed into that third quarter. There's a nice kick out to Elijah, who's able to knock that down, puts us up 5. And, you know, we were able to extend that lead from this point forward. This is the end of the half. They leave Noah wide open there at the end of the break, and we were able to find him. And then we extended out, Reed with a little floater in the lane, and left hand puts it in. And, you know, we really do some good things. We're efficient offensively. You know, there's Tyler with a tough shot around the basket. On a nice post feed from Chase. Here we're in our chin series. We hit the middle. Tyler puts it on the floor and drives it hard to the rim and puts it in. And so we're up 16 at that point. You notice quickly here they cut it to 10. Then we're able to kick it out there on a loose ball scenario out to Andy. And you know, that's a really good shot for Andy when he's standing still. There's another example of that. When he's set, he can eye it up, tee it up if you will. He can make that shot pretty well. Here's a nice kick out from Chase out to Elijah, who's able to kick it in, and you know, we push that lead back up to 13 after they've got it down to 10. So, as you mentioned, they made a nice run at us. We were able to withstand a little bit of pressure. They pressed us. We hit a few free throws and came out with a good win.
You get the victory, and then you get the Castle Knights in the championship game of the Wooden Classic. You mentioned Alex Hemingway to start, and he was kind of as advertised, then some in the game. They got loose, hit some shots, some tough shots, and really were able to get the victory over you guys.
Yeah, defensively we did some good things early in the game. Well, we came out in a triangle and 2, and we chased Hemingway and another one of their guards and made some other guys shoot it, and they did, and they missed them. Five out of their first 6 possessions, they don't score. And the only time they did score is that we lost one of the guys that we're supposed to be chasing, right off the opening tip. But then we go down, and we just weren't real good on offense. We didn't have very good patience. We didn't handle the ball very well. We shot quick, and we missed shots. Didn't take advantage of it. So, we had an opportunity there early, and then we just got into one of those droughts where we couldn't find the ocean from the boat, and they were able to find everything. So, that was one of those games I don't think was is indicative of maybe the team that we can be or who we are.
Castle coming away with the victory in the championship game. Let's go ahead and get to the highlights of the contest against the Castle Knights.
Well, here you see they're in their little 3-2 zone, and we have great patience right there. And Tyler finds a nice shot down there on the baseline. There's Chase with the putback, and that's one thing that Chase can do. He's got to be a guy that can set good screens, get us some rebounds, score around the rim, and that's what he needs to do for us. Here you see us down 11 to 8, and next thing you know it's 20 to 8. We just can't be that team that has those droughts. There's a nice backdoor cut. Reed's able to finish on a reverse layup, and Elijah in there battling and scoring, and it's 22 to 12, and now you see it's 24 to 12. Andy with a nice pull-up. That's something that he needs to work on and improve his game doing those types of things. He's really, really good going to the basket, but everybody knows he's going to drive it. Here's Tyler stepping out and hitting a 3, and it's 7 points, and we're kind of hanging around. Now it's 9. Reed with a tough shot in the paint, close it down to 7, and we just really didn't finish at this point into the second quarter. Here's a nice break that we're able to push the ball up the floor. And, we're just kind of hanging around, but we just couldn't get the stops that we needed to. There's a nice post feed in the chase from Wesley and to put that, close the gap a little bit. Here they are playing underneath that screen, and Tyler called his bank and knocked it down there to make it 9. But then you see it's back up to 16. So just really felt like this was a game that we were probably could have played a little bit better, been a little bit more competitive in. Needed stops, as you see the game gets away from us here, score-wise. And, it's one we really feel like we could have back. But I think some of it is, we had 3 days of practice coming off the break. We played Franklin Central. Really had a hard game against Franklin Central. They're quick and athletic. And to a certain degree, we ran out of legs a little bit here in this second game. There's Josh with a nice little backdoor cut off the elbow for a slip and a basket there near the end of the game. But, I just thought the day was a good day overall. We got something out of the day. We benefited from the day. I think it's a good experience for our kids to play back-to-back in that type of environment against good teams.
Able to come away 1-1, the win over Franklin Central, and the tough loss to a very good Castle ball club in the championship game with a very good basketball player on their team as well. Then you have some more time off, and you come back with a mid-state conference matchup on the road against the Decatur Central Hawks, and this is a good ball club. Coach Ashworth has done a nice job with them, and they come away with the victory over you guys in mid-state conference play.
Yeah, the first quarter was okay. The rest of the game wasn't. And the Tracy kid had 30 against us. Really, really played well. The Jones kid had 10 rebounds inside. We just did not play well. And sometimes that happens for a variety of reasons. But we just didn't guard. We didn't execute, and just really didn't play very well. But I attribute some of that to how we practiced last week. I know we were on break and we were on a different schedule, but we really, coming out of the Wooden Classic, those next 3 or 4 practices, we just didn't practice very well. We didn't practice very hard. We didn't practice very well, and then it actually turned into what we saw on Saturday. And so, but we've had a better week of practice since that Decatur game.
Better week coming up, and you'll have a couple of games coming up this weekend. It starts on Friday. It's a little bit unusual. It's not any mid-state conference games coming up for you guys, and it'll be a doubleheader weekend, weather permitting. You'll go on the road tonight against Bloomington North, and this is a ball club that Coach Spears done a nice job here in his second year. He's got some young kids. He's kind of taking the reins off of them, letting them get up and down the court when they have the opportunity. What do you expect to see out of the Cougars on Friday night?
Well, you're right. They're free-spirited. They're going to get up and down the floor, shoot the ball relatively quick. We're going to have to do a good job of playing in the half court and defending people and limiting those transition baskets. And, the Claber kid's a nice freshman guard that can get in the paint a little bit. He can score a little bit. The Vincel kid is a strong sophomore that really plays hard. They got a couple other kids. They got a 6'7" kid that's kind of hangs around the perimeter. They got a nice 6'3" kid that really plays hard in the paint. So, it's, they're 8-3, and they've been beat by Southport, Bloomington South, and Center Grove. So the 3 losses are to some pretty good ball clubs, and we're going to have to come ready to play and have to improve much on our effort from the Decatur Central game.
Seeing what they like to do offensively, some of the things they like to do defensively as well. What's it going to be important for you guys? Obviously, you mentioned the effort, but other things you guys are kind of trying to key on here as we get ready on Friday night.
Well, I think, first of all, it's got to be about us. We've got to have a great effort, 32 minutes, and you're only as good as your last effort. And we didn't play very well, obviously, against Decatur. So, we're going to focus on us and making sure we do what we need to do and that we compete at a level that allows us the opportunity to win. We've not been a good road team at all year, and that's going to be something we've got to get over that hurdle. We've got to get off to a good start. We've got to be able to maintain it. But the one way you do that is to play defense. And, sometimes you got to find your shot through your defense. Sometimes you got to find your offensive rhythm through how you're playing on the other end. And so we're going to have to pick it up on that end because they are an explosive team. They're able to score 60, 65 points, and they've been able to average that throughout the course of the year. And, we're going to have to keep the game in the 50s. So once we break a little bit of their pressure, we're going to have some patience in the half court unless we have something good that we can take and play within ourselves, but also play together at the same time. But, I just really think that this game is as much about us as it is about Bloomington North and the ability to play on the road, the toughness you have to have, the grit you have to play on the road, the ability to compete on the road and be able to withstand runs by the home team. And we've just not been able to do that very well throughout the course of the year. And so hopefully 2019 is a little bit better for us from that regard.
You'll try to get that going there on Friday night, and then you'll come back Saturday. You get to come home on against Guerin Catholic. That, of course, weather permitting, if that game is not played, already makeup scheduled for Monday. Should that game be canceled, you can always check the Artesian Athletics Twitter and everything to see if that game's there, always weather permitting. But a quick look at Guerin, what you think you'll see out of the Eagles coming up on Saturday.
Yeah, so, the decision to play or not to play will be around lunchtime on Saturday.
Okay.
So our fans and students should look at the Twitter account,
right.
Artesian Nation. Also follow us on goartesians.com. The radio will have an announcement, and we'll get them out to other media outlets the best we can. But, that we're going to hold on that decision. We want to play. It's a little Artie night as well. We've got quite a few events for the little guys, so it's a big night for them. But Guerin Catholic is a nice ball club, around 500. They're not as probably athletic and as talented as they were a year ago, but they've done a good job of playing at a fairly high level. They've got a couple kids that can really score the ball, and we'll have to be ready for that when it comes. But right now our focus is going to be on Bloomington North, and after tonight we'll turn our attention to the Guerin Catholic Golden Eagles, and we'll go from there.
All right, Coach, we appreciate it. Good luck on Friday, and we'll see you there tonight.
Yeah, you need to get feeling better.
I'll try to.
Okay.
We'll see what happens.
Right.
Hopefully it'll have an impact. Maybe I'll feel better. The team will play better.
There we go.
All right, Coach, I appreciate it. We'll see you there tonight. Artesian head coach Kip Staggs here inside Artesian basketball. Like the coach said, at Bloomington North tonight, trying to get better. The Artesians are, as they'll try to take care of themselves and take care of the Cougars on the Cougars home court. They'll come back Saturday, weather permitting, and battle the Golden Eagles from Guerin Catholic. As always, I'd like to thank the head coach for coming in. For Kip Staggs, along with the RTV2 students who helped produce it, I'm Eric Meyer. We'll see you again next time inside Artesian basketball.